I know this isn't like the best time to come on, and that's totally fine. I'll just do it when I can, and maybe people can watch it on the replay. So today, I wanted to talk about something about the topic of quitting. I've been thinking a lot about this because lately I've had kind of a few people come on and tell me that like to quit something that they've kind of done with me. And it just kind of breaks my heart. I feel like, hey, hi Christian. I have not seen you in a while. Thank you so much for the super heart. Oh my goodness. I am so like, I haven't been on in a while. I feel like this is like almost my first time coming on. How's it going, Christian? How's it going? Yeah, today I'm just like on here to talk about the topic of quitting. Yeah, I've been thinking a lot about this for a while, just for myself and even just for my friends as well. Just why instead of quitting when things get hard, we should really double down. And yeah, as as you know, I've been kind of out of commission for several years ever since ever since I became a mom. It just became really difficult for me to find time to be more present in for live streams. Like I've been making videos about just 2 to 5 minute videos, and I've been uploading them on Facebook. I'm doing something called the 77-day video challenge right now. Hey Gary, how's it going? Hey Jen Antonio, thank you for subscribing. Yeah, but I haven't really live streamed because it's not like before. I used to have time. I didn't have a young child to care for at the time. And I was doing these live streams that were an hour long, sometimes even 3 hours long, and I could just indulge in it. But it's not the case anymore because now is mommy time, right? So how is it that how should I really respond to this new challenge of having a different setup, like a different life stage? And yeah, we all go through this quitting. Trust me, I know we got to go on. Yeah. So I just feel like sometimes it's so easy to think about, like, you know what, because I've been going so long and so many years, I can't do the things I want to do, etc. And there's a pandemic going on, and like we have no help, and we have these extra challenges, and people who are close to us are not well, and etc. And there's always competing priorities, and there's always gonna be just things in our lives that make it very difficult, that come in the way between you and your dreams. And it's so easy to go, you know what, I'm just gonna put it in the back burner. I'm not gonna do it. I'm going to put it off. And it's just like, I'll get back to it. There's always going to be time later on. I just want to tell you, okay, I without giving away like my actual age, in the past, I always wanted to be, hey Peter, hi Peter. I always wanted to be like a travel channel host. And at the time, I did a few competitions, I guess, that I kind of got to like the finals. The first one was a Discovery Channel search for a host for the Globe Trekker show. So I joined that, and I made it to the semifinals. And a funny thing happened. I just basically really needed to go to the bathroom, and we had the challenge where we had to go on stage and do an impromptu piece on something we were given. But it was just so hard because I really needed to use the bathroom, and I could barely, like my brain was going. Anyway, to cut that long story short, I didn't make it. I didn't end up winning the show, and I didn't become a travel host for the Discovery Channel. And this was like back in Asia. And I kind of gave up that dream I tried again in 20, I was like 2008. I tried again, and I entered this thing called the Best Job in the World. I don't know if you guys heard, right? I don't know if you guys heard of it, but it was basically this PR, huge PR campaign by Tourism Queensland in Australia. So they put this ad out and said, okay, we're looking for this island caretaker, and we're gonna pay this person. I forgot how much, but I think it was somewhere in the lines of like 150,000 US dollars or something for 6 months worth of work. And they were looking for a host, and they put this out, and like 30 over 1,000 people applied, all right, for this. And I have to say, during that time, it was so hard because my mom had just died suddenly. I was living in London at the time, and my mom had suddenly died. And I got this phone call from my dad while I was outside my door in the rain with no umbrella, trying to get into my flat. And my dad told me, I booked you on a flight to go back to Malaysia because mom like passed away. And I didn't know why. I didn't know. It was just like, okay, mom died, get on the plane. All right. That was so hard. And because of that, it really did a number on me. You know, I was grieving for quite a while. It was hard for me to accept my mom's death. And instead of quitting, I actually signed up for this thing. Called the Best Job in the World, and I signed up for it. And people were saying, you know, like I had one friend that was getting a foot massage, right? And one of my friends, I bumped into him, and he looked at me and he's like, you know, Jackie, what are you doing? I said, oh, I'm just I'm studying up on the requirements that they need for this video submission, and then I'm going to try and apply for this. And then he said to me, what, there's like 30 over 1,000 people who applied for it. You really think you have a chance to win? He said. I looked at him, I said, I do think I have a chance. So I didn't listen to him, I just did it anyway. Okay. So without knowing if I was going to be picked, I just went on, right? I went on, and I submitted my video, and then I flew back from Malaysia to the UK. Next thing you know, I get an email. You've been selected in the top 50 out of 30 over 1,000 people to be in the finals of this Best Job in the World competition. Okay. So this was crazy. I mean, when that happened and all the media came, and I was on the BBC, I was on National Geographic, I was everywhere. So it was really exciting. Okay, getting to a point of why you shouldn't quit. Okay, like I thought I was going to quit doing things that made me happy. And I'm telling you this story because I was not in the best frame of mind. My mom had died recently and suddenly, but I still did it. And even though I didn't win and I didn't end up getting that job, it taught me a lot about stuff. Yeah, so it taught me a lot about how to conduct sort of myself in a global PR situation. And I did an interview on the BBC radio, which was something that I didn't. To me, I'm from Malaysia. I was just kind of in the UK by the way, and that was really truly an opportunity of a lifetime. And then I ended up being in a documentary that they shot, right? The BBC shot this documentary, and they were showing this documentary worldwide, both on the National Geographic and on the BBC for a while, like over the course of a year. So I learned a lot about PR. I learned a lot about how to manage things like that, and my brand, and etc. Even as I was thrown into the hot soup. So so I'd say just don't quit. And even though like now I don't think that I can say, oh yeah, there's another competition that I went for that I won. In fact, I still have dreams in my heart. I still want to do stuff, but but I don't think that I'll be a travel host anymore because that time has passed, you know? And that's my point. Like you can put aside something and say you don't want to do it, but the time comes and your priorities change. Like now I have a child and I'm married and I'm settled. I can't go around gallivanting and go to Timbuktu or live in Stockholm anymore. Like my point is your dreams are not going to be there. You can't always achieve it at all seasons of your life. And at some point, it dies. So don't quit. Keep going. Keep going. You want to do it, do it. And if you're lucky enough to have done it, then that's really great. But if you don't, then you learn something and you take that experience and apply it to something else. But don't quit, because if you quit, you're gonna look back and you're just gonna be a quitter, right? You didn't give your best, you didn't try your best, and you're just gonna be a quitter of your own dreams. And you don't want that. You don't want that at all. Yeah. And anything that I've done right in my life was because I didn't quit. And in fact, I want to show you something. I don't know who's still here. I'm not multicasting, but I'm only reading the comments on Habs right now because I'm so rusty. But I still don't want to quit. I'm rusty with my live stream because I haven't been doing it for a few years. Really? Okay. I tried again and yeah. Don't quit. This is one of the things. Okay, still here. Cool. Okay, so I want to tell you this story, okay? This is an article on the New York Times that I came out on. You see, I don't know. Can you see that? Yeah. I kind of pasted and printed it here. Okay, the streets are paved with PCs. So I was 20 years old when I was in this article. So I was 20 years old at the time, and this was the situation. Thank you, Peter. I try my very best, but I am not at my strongest at the moment, although that is debatable. Which is not strongest as in like I feel like I'm my time and my energy stores are very limited because I have other priorities now. But yeah, so this is me in the New York Times in 1998. I was 20 years old at the time, and I had just been in New York City for how many months? I think I went less than a year. So I was in New York for less than a year, and I ended up in the New York Times. And this is not like less than a year. I've lived in the US for a long time. I came from Malaysia. I went to New York to study as a student, but then things were so tough and so hard at the time. We had something called the Asian financial crisis at the time. And all of a sudden, the exchange rate from the US dollar, from the ringgit to the US dollar went from something like 2.5, and then it shot up to like a 5. And then it finally got pegged at 3.8. But whatever happened during that time is like, I came to the States to study it, but all of a sudden my school fees were twice as much. And all my living expenses, everything, like I had to pay like twice as much. So if at the time I was needing, say, just an example, if I needed 8,000 ringgit to survive, all of a sudden it was 16,000 ringgit, right? And this was happening every month. So it was a really hard time. And so the US government did this interim ruling and said, like, basically allowed people who were affected by the Asian financial crisis at the time to apply for a temporary work permit for a year to work and study at the same time. And then And then so I took that opportunity, and you guys, New York City, all right. I'm a foreigner. I'm not a graduate. I'm 20. I was 19 years old at the time, and nobody knew who I was. New York City. I must have applied to 100 jobs, gone to like 40 different interviews before somebody hired me, because I was a nobody from a foreign country. And I landed a job in the Wall Street area being a web designer. And I self-taught myself how to do web design. And so I got a job at this local ISP in the Wall Street area, small little firm, and just doing my thing because I didn't want to quit. I wanted to keep going. And I had this dream, like, yes, I want to be here in the States. I want to do my education, I want to do this. And then one day, somebody walked into the office, and it turned out to be a New York Times reporter. And so he's like, oh, hey, hi, I'm here to do an article about just high-tech immigrants. And I'm here to interview your boss, Kamal, because he's from India, and like, you know, so we want to do a story on him and everything. And also, so I'm also interviewing a whole bunch of other people. So we start talking, and I said, oh yeah, I'm a student, and I'm from Malaysia. So I'm doing this because of, you know, the Asian financial crisis. So and then he's like, you know what? I want you in the story too. And I'm like, what? No, really? What? New York Times? Okay, fine, let's do it. Okay, so he interviews me, and he didn't come alone. He had a photographer with him, and then the photographer took like some pictures, etc. And the next thing you know, I'm out in the Sunday papers, right? Like this. Okay, I only see the 20-year-old me over there. I look like such a kiddo. Right? And this is because I didn't quit. I just kept going. I'm going and going, and people said, you're crazy. Nobody knows you. You're not going to be able to find a job in New York City. You don't even have a degree, right? You don't have a degree. You're not a citizen. You're not, you speak English with an accent, all kinds of stuff. But you know what? I'm 20 years old. Okay, 8 months after I came from Malaysia, I'm in the New York Times. Okay, and that's another story for you. Like, don't quit, just keep going. Keep going toward the direction of your dreams. And if you have, just keep going. And even if you feel, you know that you've given it your all. I haven't always gotten everything that I wanted, that I've gone for. And sometimes I think back and I'm like, oh, you know, it's just, it kills me in my heart. But I know I've done my best. And so I just take that experience and I apply it to the next thing that I want to do. And right now, the thing that I want to do is I want to build a strong community of leaders and communicators on the digital platform. And that's what I want to do. So I started a digital Toastmasters club, a digital creators Toastmasters club a few months ago, in January. And so we had 20 people sign up. And of course, this is a living, breathing baby. And I don't know if it will fail or if it will succeed. We're only really 4 months in at the moment, and I'm learning a lot from this. But as those challenges come, I also know I don't want to quit. I know I want to keep going. We've had people just come and say, you know what, like, oh, so much happening in life and just can't do it right now. But hey, I'm a mom of a toddler and I have no help. I have no family here. Like, literally but I show up. I've been to every single meeting. I show up for people and I show up all the time. And this is what we're trying to do here. Like, I'm trying my best to show up on HAPS, even though I feel like it's a little hard because it's a new platform. I'm trying to get used to it. I'm trying to learn how to do this and trying to learn how to multicast. And it's a little different because then, I'm going to need some help, I think, from you guys who do it so effortlessly. Like, how do you keep track of all the different platforms that you're on? Because, like I'm still getting used to HAPS. But yeah, my message to you is don't quit when things get hard. Just double down, because when you double down, you're gonna win. You're gonna get it. Yeah, Peter, thank you so much for the high five. Yeah, that's all I want to say. I didn't want to make this video too long. I just feel in my heart that I want to share with you guys. Don't quit. Just keep going. Okay, even when you feel like quitting, don't. Just keep going. Like Shia LaBeouf says, like, do it. Just do it. Yeah, that. And also, don't cancel people out. All right. Some people, they may just be going through a season of transition. And if you cancel people out, one day when you need them and you've canceled them, you're not going to be able to win them back. Yeah. So, just think of it as, choose people because of their values, but not because of where they're at that point. Because when you do that and you judge people and you cut people off and you're going to regret it. Okay. I'm just saying. All right. With that, I'm going to go. I'm going to go and check out all the other places where this multicast is going and just answer people's comments. And I will try my very best to come on to HAPS a lot more often. So I'll see you. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for dropping by, Peter. And thank you so much, Gary, Christian. Also, who else is here? Maya, Rohan, thank you for subscribing. I will see you guys later. Ciao.